Well, welcome to my attempt to kind of video cast here some solo role-playing action. If you checked out my website or my blog here, I posted some character creation for this kind of mini series that I might be doing here called Into the Wilds, and I used the Tiny Dungeon 2E rules to get some characters made up here, and then I built out a setting grid using the background story cards, and so and then tried to work all this into kind of this scenario, this initial scenario that I put together using the It's Not My Fault deck and deck of cards. So I used kind of some two outside sources there, and then I'd already typed up this story. So if you haven't read kind of the background intro, you can find that on my blog, and that's where we'll pick up. So most of this of my background stuff that was in the setting grid has kind of been filled into that backstory, but there's one other piece that's probably going to need to come up here towards the end, which is this kind of child prophet will have to come into play somehow, because that has not come up yet. So the characters are strapped to or laying on an altar, and they've been put to sleep, and these kind of ice demons or ice creatures are probably getting ready to come out of this portal. And we're trying to shut this down because the setup was ice had just swept across the landscape and it was covering the terrain and many people in thick sheets of ice. So we're trying to get rid of this ice. We thought it was some water elemental refugees and or plane of water refugees that had ended up on the material plane that we're now kind of coexisting with, kind of friendly, kind of not, and there ended up being kind of this summoning portal coming up and ice baddies. So I'm going to play this using my self-designed solo engine here. It's got everything we need over here on the menu side. You can pick through all these different things. So typically I solo by writing up kind of story-wise as if I were writing a book or a short article or to put it on my blog. So I'm going to continue to do that, but I'll probably pause the videos so you don't have to watch me type it up, and we'll see how it goes. So let me start off here. So remember, I'm playing Galathar, the Ranger Alchemist, and the other two here are my NPCs. So I'm going to try to contact Fowl. I'm going to see if he can wake up and get us out of this. So let me come over here to my Oracle, and I'm going to say that it's slightly likely that I can make contact to him. So let's get what happens. No but, it says. No but. Okay, well, he can't hear me, but maybe he can see me. Alright, let's take that. So, looking to my side. Oh, I will pause so you don't have to watch me type. So I can see him, and I'm trying to get Fowl to cast a sleep spell, but in reverse. I'm thinking that if he can do that, then it'll bring us back to the waking world, and maybe we can fight this thing. In the meantime, this ice giant or ice elemental or something is coming through this portal. So Fowl has this spell touched ability, which means he kind of casts spells just from within himself. He just kind of makes it up and does it. And he does that with a 3d6 roll. And if he gets a 5 or a 6 on there, then on any of those dice, he will succeed. So I'm going to roll 3d6 here. I don't need the sum of the dice, so I'll leave that off. I'm just going to roll the dice and see what happens. 4, 6, 4. And Fowl does wake us up. Great. Okay, so what are we going to do next? Well, we are going to step down off the altars, probably, and come back too. So let's type a little bit about that. So Fowl uses kind of his magic. He does the sleep spell in reverse and wakes us up, and we're getting down off the altar, and we need a plan because this ice golem or ice elemental is making its way through. We don't want it to do any more damage to our village. So I'm sending Fowl back behind to start doing some flanking and checking to see if Kiernuk knows anything. So again, he has this eidetic memory, and he's educated. So he's going to use these two things together in concert to roll to see if he gets it. And he only needs a 4, 5, or 6. He doesn't need just a 5 or 6 to be able to do this. So let's see what happens with him. 5, 6, 6. Wow, does he ever know? Yes. So Kieran knows how to close this. All right. So I think that's going to change our plan. So let me start doing some strategizing here. So here's the ice giant that's come through that we're going to be fighting. It's got 11 hit points. It's got Cleave, Die Hard, Strong, and this Frozen Soul, which makes it resistant to magic. So we're going to have to work around that stuff. Let's see what we can do here. Get to the right spot. There we go. So I've asked Kieran if he knows what to do. He does know how to close the portal, so he's going to start working on that, and I'm going to go ahead and fire. So I'm going to move. I've got 2 actions. I'm going to move, and then I'm going to fire. So firing with my bow, since I'm proficient at it, that's a 3, and I get 1 hit, or I do hit with that bow. So that's going to deal 1 damage to this ice giant, and meanwhile Fowl is going to shoot 2 bolts of fire, and you know, that's just a pretty basic like magic missile type thing that he knows how to do. However, the thing is resistant to magic, and we don't know this, so, and it resists at a 3d6, so it's got to get a 5 or 6. It does not. So Fowl's magic will go through, so we're going to roll twice for him to see if they hit. Nope, and yes. So we've got 2 damage on there, and the ice giant is now at, or we'll call it an ice giant, is now at 9 HP. I'm just going to put that in here as a reminder for where we're at. Okay, so meanwhile, Kieran, let's see how many rounds we think Kieran is going to need to, how difficult this is going to be. So I think what I'm going to do is, let's do a 1d4 rounds to see how long it's going to take. 1d6 is fine. It's going to take 5 rounds. So we're either going to have to kill this thing and hope that nothing else comes out, and let's see if another one will come out. Let's give this a 2d6 for how many rounds another one will come out. Nah, better be 1d6. Maybe 4 rounds. Oh my. Okay, so we need to take this thing out before the other one starts to come through. Alright, so let's start working on that. So I realize that Kieran trying to do this as a barbarian is a little bit absurd to try and close this portal on his own, but he's the only one with the knowledge for it. But maybe Fowl with some magic can kind of help speed up the process so that he's not relying kind of on these ancient rituals from his tribe. Kieran isn't. So I'm going to ask Fowl to speed things up, but in the meantime, the ice creature is going to attack. So let's first of all check, can Fowl speed this up? It's probably pretty likely since he's magic. So yes, and he can speed this up. Okay, so he's going to be able to speed this up, let's say by 1d4 rounds here, and he's going to be able to speed up by 2 rounds. So it's only going to take 3 rounds. Okay, very good. And we so 3 additional rounds, and that'll be perfect. We can close it off before anything else comes out, maybe. And he also feels like probably that once he closes this portal, Fowl thinks that he can actually sever the ice creature's power. So we're going to shoot for that. Let's see who the ice creature is going to attack. 1 will be me, and 2 will be Fowl. 1 is me. Okay, that's good. So the beast is going to lunge at me and make some attacks. So it's I'm going to check real quick to double check the rules to make sure I'm attacking right with his special abilities of the strength and the cleave and things like that. So the ice creature is just going to attack at advantage. It's using its main weapon just to try and smash at me over the altar. I quickly dodge out of the way though, so it does not hit me. I duck and roll. It smashes the altar next to me. And as I come up, I take a look around and I want to know, what do I see out here? I'm kind of in this general outdoor location. We were by the water, we were by the river, but is there anything nearby? Strange. Holes are randomly dug into the earth here. They're bigger than a fox's hole? Could it be badgers or something worse? Okay, so maybe I can use those holes to my advantage. Let's see. So I think maybe the water refugees are back to help, so they had kind of run away. So let me see if they are. Yes, they are. So they're going to lend some aid here. That is useful. So we're first going to check to see if I hit, because I'm going to launch another arrow at this thing and move to try and get it there. I do hit it, so it's going to be down to 8 hit points from 11. And I want to see if it gets stuck. So does it get stuck in there? Let's give it a 50-50 shot here of getting stuck. See what happens. No, and you're faced with a choice between the lesser of two evils. Okay, so no, not only does it not get stuck, but something goes bad. Okay, we're first of all going to see if we can get some help here from the water people. It's probably very likely that they know how to handle this. Yes, they do, so they're going to send some help. Let's say they're going to send a 1d6 kind of wizardy types if we can protect them. They'll send 2 guys up to help, and Kiernuk gets a swipe from the beast as he dodged out of the way. The beast misses again. Very good. Okay. So let's go from there. So Kiernuk dodges out of the way, and a couple guys come out to help. We're all going to make attacks on this thing. Kiernuk is going to make his 2 attacks here, and hits and hits. And then I'm going to make 2 attacks, hit and hit. I'll take it. Okay, so let's see. The creature was at, what was my last one? 8 hit points. So we just hit it 4 times, knocked it down to 4. So that's good. Let's see what happens next. So we hit the beast, and he's attacking Kiernuk back, and he knocks him to the side. I just want to see if he falls off kind of the edge of the ice here. No, he does not. No, he does not fall off the ice, and something even better happens. All right, let's figure that out. So I got a no and I got a potential complication here that something I want to remain hidden is revealed. So the ice creature has noticed the water refugees for the first time, and I want to see how that reacts. So I'm going to get some descriptive words here just to maybe see. Grief-stricken and frustration. Interesting. Okay, so let's write out how that would play out. So as if from the other side of this plane of water, a voice takes over and says, "You deserters! We cared for you, we loved you. We even sent this guardian to what we thought would be your aid, but you worked to close the portal. Why? Why would you abandon us? You should come home!" And the beast comes back alive and boom, slams down its hands. Does it crack the ice that we're on? Yes, it does. Okay, so we're going to have to take this thing out fast because there could be some consequences. So with the ice cracking, we got to end this fast, and I dig out some alchemist fire out of my pouch, and I toss it onto the beast, and it does 1 extra damage as fire, and then I followed up with a bow shot that also hit, so that's 3 damage more. And then Kiernuk pushes himself up and takes down the ice beast that shatters just as the magic users under Foul's direction, from what Kiernuk had told him, closes the portal with this, and the portal closes. So let's see how this is going to end. So the ice is crumbling, and we jump over the sides to get free, and one of the water refugees helps us out of the water, and I ask, basically what's going on. And he responded in a way of lawful opportunity and says, "We were within our rights, we did nothing wrong, we just took advantage of that opportunity." And he wants to make sure it's not going to affect our arrangement here. So I tell him I'll do the best I can with Sir Geoffrey and head back to camp. Now for the close. So we head back to camp, and Mizuki, the child prophet, comes out and starts off with, "Oh, is everything okay?" And looks like she was hurt a little bit with the ice, but gives this prophecy then in a deep voice. "It shall be on the day that legend becomes history. A broken promise shall usher forth the rise of what was forgotten. 3 are needed, 3 shall fall, 3 shall become saviors to all." And that's where we'll stop. So we'll pick up some other stories later, and you can read the full transcript on my blog. Thanks.